Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Our next guest is an Emmy Award-winning host, a producer, an author. He is one of the most influential people in Hollywood. He is the god of reality TV, the only man who can tell a housewife what to do. And he's the host of Watch What Happens Live. And, of course, he is the executive producer and host of the Real Housewives series. Of course, we're talking about Andy Cohen.
Good
Andy,
morning.
hello.
Hi.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? He sounds interesting.
You started in a news capacity.
I did, yes. I was at CBS News for 10 years as a producer. I worked on the morning show and on a show called 48 Hours over there.
Yeah.
And actually, the last time I was in Australia was in 1997, believe it or not, doing a profile of David Helfgott, the guy who the movie Shine was based on. That was my last time here, so it's great to be back.
You're here for Mardi Gras. That's a different experience to interviewing David Helfgott.
It sure is. Both fun in different ways.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of trampolines involved.
Yes, there are.
And full frontal nudity. So I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
lots.
exactly. You're
Actually,
right.
it's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
really,
you're right.
When you look
Not so different.
Your skill set is quite extraordinary. And when you watch the show, Watch What Happens Live, the big egos that you manage to coerce into sharing so many secrets.
Yeah.
What do you put in their cups of tea? What do you do? How do you encourage them to be so open?
They are actually booze glasses. They aren't cups of tea. So that's A. B, I think that there's something really deceiving about the fact that they come in my little studio. We only have 25 people in the audience. It feels like Goldie Hawn at one point was on, and she turned to me and said, "Is this show? Are we live? Are we on TV right now?" And I said, "Yeah." And I thought, well, this is what it is, because people come in, it doesn't kind of feel like a real TV show, but oh, it is. And so, yeah, I think we don't do a pre-interview. A lot of, all the other late night talk shows, every segment is really set up and you're in there and they tell you in the dressing room what you're going to talk about. This is a totally unscripted experience. And so anything happens and everything does.
And that's probably the best thing for you as well, because there's that, as an interviewer, you want to go into something fearless.
Yeah.
And I always like that thing, Mariah Carey just doubling down and denying all knowledge of J-Lo.
Yes, it was amazing.
How does that happen?
Amazing. It was crazy. I mean, and it's like, how does it happen that she will then continue and sit there and discuss it with me for 5 minutes and really parse it out? It's great. I think people know when they come on the show, they're up for a totally different experience. If a huge star, and there have been many, says to us, okay, we want to do the show, but we don't want to talk about X, Y, Z, and P and Q. And it's like, if X, Y, and Z are big news making items, I have to ask them. So I'd rather have them not come on the show than have me look like a fool for not asking a question.
Yeah.
The Real Housewives franchise is just extraordinary. And I love what you've said about it really being a symbolism of feminism on television. We have never seen women portrayed that way in all their up and down glory.
Right. It's, listen, it's all colors of the rainbow for women. And I think people latch on to some of the worst tropes that come out of it. When I go on a talk show, the clip they want to play is of Teresa throwing flipping a table, or someone throwing a wine glass. There are hours and hours of footage that go into every season and every episode, actually. And, the arc of the women is really interesting. There's everything that we show. So it's not just the crazy moments. There are moments of great vulnerability. There are moments of great depth between friends and spouses and children and sisters. And I think all those go into the fabric of making a human being. And we try to show everything, basically. And I do think that there's no other show on television that has celebrated specifically women over 50 who are, having sex on their own terms and living their lives on their own terms. And I think there's something really powerful about it, believe it or not. It sounds like BS if you don't watch the show, but I think if you do watch the show, you might have a sense of what I'm talking about.
Do you think, though, the franchise has killed the soap opera as well?
I do. I kind of do. I mean, I think the soap opera was
it's always going to be there.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, in the States, it's really kind of slowly limping to the finish line. And this is a medium on television that's been around, for 60 years or something. And I was a huge fan of a show called All My Children in the States growing up. And so to me, The Housewives does satisfy a lot that I got as a fan of all my children. It's, I fall in love with the characters, and you watch them over a series of years live their lives, say unbelievable things, wear amazing clothes,
And have dramatic things happen to them.
and have super dramatic things happen to them. How does that happen to our women? We cast highly dramatic individuals who actually,
Off to prison.
I mean, honestly, you don't know what's going to happen on the day to day.
Yeah. But as you say, also, the women of this age, we don't often see the reinvention. These are women who are reinventing themselves.
Yes. Yeah, they are. They are. It's interesting. And I've had a lot of women say, God, were it not for the show, I wouldn't have had the courage to see that I was in a bad marriage and move on. And I've now fallen in love, or start a business, or stand up to my children. Or, I think that there's a power that they get from the show. Listen, power corrupts sometimes. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always interesting to watch.
Well, because I can't imagine Taylor Armstrong would have ever thought that she would become a meme.
Yes, true. Well, they've all become memes. But yes, Taylor's one of the most famous.
The one with
Yes,
the cat.
Yeah. Woman screaming at
cat.
Yes.
And I didn't even realize her name until
Right.
I looked it up and I went, wow, that's her. And it's just...
It's wild. The amount of memes that have come out of this show, it's crazy.
Well, look, it's such a thrill to talk to you. Are there any shows you wouldn't go on? I know you're such a fan of this style of television.
Right.
You have an interview show as well.
Yeah.
As a person yourself, would
Yep.
you ever be vulnerable enough to do it?
I wouldn't. I have a new book coming out in May called The Daddy Diaries, and it's a third of a series of diary books that I've published. And that's as close as I'll ever get to being on a reality show. It's publishing my diary, but with me in control of the edit, because I choose what I'm putting out there and not. I couldn't go on a show where I didn't have control of the edit, because I know what goes on in the edit.
Well, you're a producer.
Yeah,
You know
exactly. I'm a
exactly.
producer, so I
Which
understand.
slot would you fall in? What would
Yes.
you be painted as?
On a show, I think that I would. Oh wow, it really could be any. I mean, this is a question for my therapist, but I think that I could be a control freak. I think that because I am. I think that I could be a little bit of a know-it-all because I am. I think that I could be, a great time, a party guy. I think that there are a few tropes that I could.
You could be
fall
your own
into.
franchise. And you could just
Sure.
have a meme instead of you yelling at a cat. You're
Yes.
just yelling at yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Tell me
Sybil.
about it. Right, exactly.
Like Sybil.
Yeah.
Andy, it's great to have you on our show. Stream Watch What Happens Live only on HeyU, same day as
Yes.
the US. Boom.
Boom. Excited.
Andy
Yeah, I'm
Cohen,
excited
thank you.
everyone can see it. Thanks.
Enjoy the Mardi
Thanks for
Gras.
having me. I will.